Welcome back, everybody. Lovely to hear from the young gun, Kyle Cope, who is at the table. He has previously been seen out in the arena this afternoon already. He was chief fanboy for Dave Gilbert, who, if you look at the top right of your picture, you can see Dave in Kyle's corner as well, those two supporting each other well. And Kyle will be hoping to do a little better, at least results-wise, than his mentor Dave Gilbert earlier on this afternoon, who played brilliantly, beautifully in fact, against Tom Cousins, who naturally won a 7-6 decider because that's what he does. Rob Wharne, the opponent then for Kyle, and Rob himself has been going well this weekend. Looking forward to watching him, always an entertaining player. And we've got ourselves a tactical exchange to kick off frame number one here. Steve Jameson and Tony Holgate with you for this one.
Yeah, good afternoon, and I was on comms with Rob Wharne yesterday in his match, and he was playing really, really well, and then he just sort of had a frustrating day at the office when he got to the latter stages.
Yeah,
made a few unforced errors, and it stopped him going really deep into event 5.
and I think the frustrating thing from Rob's perspective will be there that he made a few errors. That will, number one, annoy him. But his opponent also made a few errors as well, and that was a very, very winnable game for him.
It was.
It was just a case. Sometimes, you come off the table and Rob will have had plenty of them himself, where he comes off the table and thinks, I just didn't have the chances to win that game. Or I had one chance where I've missed one ball and I've found myself being beaten by, 7 frames or something like that. Those games happen all the time. But what happens probably less often, especially at the back end of events, are matches when you get two players who have plenty of chances and both make their fair share of mistakes as well. And those ones, in a strange way, they really hurt because it's all on you because the chance was there and you just weren't quite ready to take it. And that's disappointing in that sense. So looking for a bit of an improvement, the Wacker here this afternoon on Saturday. Saturday? Yeah, Saturday.
It is Saturday.
You lose track of the days, and I'm on day 3 of about 16, I think it is, which is not a good sign. But
no, and I'm with you. I'm on day 3 of about 16 as well. But yes,
it's going to be a fun fortnight.
It is,
because we're sat here in the common spot, which is a great match of pool on. Got Hungary versus Switzerland away to my right as well. A festival of summer sport, which is what we love, especially when it's absolutely throwing it down outside in Blackpool. We're not missing anything.
Yeah, it was. It's quite pleasant this morning, but yeah, it's not great now. It's the weather's turned for the worse. Tricky shot here for the Wacker.
Oh, he's come at smelling of roses here.
Well, has he?
I thought it was just going to pull up. Well, now, if it had landed just before it hit the cushion and stopped there, he'd have taken it down the rail and he'd been lovely. But this is hard now.
Trouble with this, if he tries to cut this down the road, he's getting his cue out the way. He's not even attempting. He's going to try to cross double.
It would have been insane.
Kickback double, yeah.
Yeah, really, really tough for Rob there, who knew he was up against it a little bit, trusting a little bit to luck on that final red. He's made it a bit messy for Kyle. Not a gimme here.
Nice little safety there from Kyle. Wharne there, hit the black, knocked in Kyle's yellow, just makes no difference, loss of the table, which would have been even if the yellow didn't go in. So Cope now with what should be considered pretty easy little gang of yellows for him to knock in for the opening frame. Just this simple yellow now. And a tap in Blackpool, and Kyle Cope will draw first blood here in Blackpool.
Lovely job from Kyle Cope, who gets frame number 1 on the board in this race to 7. At 4-1, I reckon they've been there since 9 AM.
Yeah, you could be right. Always interesting that Chris Mellin always seems to turn up for event 2 of the weekend.
He has got a bit of form for that, hasn't he?
Has.
Yeah, he does.
He normally goes out in some sort of like game where he feels he should have won, and you know, something happened on the cloth, or he had a little bump somewhere that just went badly.
Well, I think
then he gets disgruntled, then he's all of a sudden he turns up a different man in the second event.
Yeah, I do think he's got the same trait that a lot of great sportsmen do, in that they are always sort of, as Rob makes a mistake there, they're always sort of itching for someone to say they can't, or someone to doubt them, and then, or something to go wrong, some adversity, to then just swivel it around and go, watch this. You know, it's vastly different sports, but it's the same mentality. You know, pool is a very, very simple game, but at the top level, the very best in the world, you know, they need something to get the juices going sometimes, and a little bit of needle can work that sort of same way. But also, if you're struggling for a bit of needle, which, you know, Chris, for example, gets on with the vast majority of players here, he's not going to have a grudge match per se, but, you know, if he feels wronged by what happened in event number 1, he goes into, I'll show you attitude for event number 2.
Yes, indeed. Well, Rob Wharne seems to have brought a similar game that he brought to the match with Neil Raybone yesterday, which was the scrappy one we were referring to earlier. Another unforced error, but
well, I know Rob struggles with the changing of the conditions, so to speak. We heard Wad talk about it there in his post-game interview. It is a very different experience on this table versus the outer tables, which is strange because they are all exactly the same. They're in the same room, but it does play, in the pros' words, completely differently. And speaking to Wad, his attitude is, I want to be on that all the time. I love that. I actually love how it plays. It's just getting used to it. And I think Rob will probably be in a similar camp. He's got a similar game to Wad, but it's just that adjustment period that he's finding tricky. But he did say put up a post yesterday on Facebook, post elimination, and said that conditions caught him out a little bit, and he hoped that in event 2 he'd get more time on the table to adjust and to do himself justice, and well, that chance is now.
That's a nice pot. And that wasn't the cannon he wanted when he potted that red. Having to play a containing shot once again. Well, a fifth of the match clock about to disappear, and it's only 1-0. You kind of feel that Carl's really got to take on this long yellow into this top corner. He's quite a distance away from it. Had a good cue ball though. Not leaving anything for the whacker. Now this time he's going to try and make this plant at the top of the table with his yellows. If he can get this and keep the cue ball in position, he'll have a golden opportunity to get himself into a 2-0 lead. He's made a plant and he'll certainly settle for that. He's over trundled that cue ball just a tad.
It just keeps on running on this table, doesn't it?
Bit of head shaking there from Rob Wharne. Well, a good recovery pot there from Kyle Cope. Would have liked to come a few more inches there with the cue ball and been able to take that yellow at the top next, but should be happy enough taking this long yellow. And that'll do him nicely. Just wants to knock this yellow in. Black in the same pocket. And down it goes, and Kyle Cope takes the opening 2 frames.
Kyle Cope gets first opportunity here, doesn't want to go in off. And there has been an element of this in the first 2 frames, Tony, where it's been a little bit, it has been a bit layout sort of dictated. And, you know, ultimately it's very difficult to sort of sit there and lay by and let your opponent just take it on. But there are times when you just have to, really. I think Kyle will be fairly okay with Rob taking these on. Didn't really have a choice. Made it ugly. It's difficult.
Well, it's that red satin between those 2 yellows. He's going to try and shift it now if he just pops these out. That's not bad. Would have probably liked to play it a little bit harder and completely shunted that red away.
Yeah, there's still some work here for Wacker. The 8 ball's a problem as well.
I believe that might go in the centre pocket to the left. So I think if he just runs this... Well, I play the one into the middle now. Leave an angle. Cue ball, then when you pot the one at the top would just come off the top rail and down the table. This way's just as good.
Yeah, he's got just about enough angle here to trickle down.
So it's more guaranteed the other way.
Oh, yeah. And that was it, wasn't it? The harder he played that, the more it was going to move towards the 8 ball. Didn't have loads of angle. I agree with you.
I think he's still cutting this in the middle.
Yeah, and he makes it. It's a good shot. Still fancied him for that pot, but it could and should probably have been a little bit easier, but I don't mind too much. He's a very good. I always sort of can tell by how good a player is at co-commentary. That's a good one for me, because it shows exactly how they think about the game. It gives an insight into it, and Rob sees the game really, really well. Fabulous cueist. It's just needed that little bit of run. Get the sense that such a sort of, as you said, heart on his sleeve player, that should he win an ultimate event, it would just instill in him so much belief and confidence. He's a bit of a streaky player in that sense. Might go on a bit of a run.
Yeah.
But that first one is always the hardest to win. Ask any player who's won an ultimate pool title.
Just enough angle to get the cue ball down for the red that's next to the black ball. Needs to come far enough so he doesn't leave himself at the wrong angle, because he's obviously, in fact I might even go all the way round and go play the one on the rail next. I'd have probably gone down the bottom, back up, one on the rail, and then screw back and play the other red last next to the black, but this is okay. Just going to drop this red in and have the black in the centre. And this is to get the match level. Nicely done by Rob Wharne. And all of a sudden he's found a little bit of form. He's back. The whacker is back.
Just to update you on some of the scores from around the other tables, Eddie Barker has got the job done against Hitton Patel, 7-1 win. It's a 7-0 win for David Hogan over Cy Fitz. Phil Harrison is 5-1 up on Brian Halcrow. Chris Day 4, Dylan Leary 3. They've hit a tactical hillock there, I would suggest. Chris Melling 1 out against Ryan Pisani. Ian Alley through against Carl Boyes. Mark Fleming 7-1 winner over Neil Raybone.
Those last 6 matches look very tight.
Yeah, yeah, they do. All 0-0. Just gone on. So we've got Brian Halcrow, Phil Harrison 5-1. Shane Thompson, Christy Caulfield's a great game. Clayton Castaldi, Jake McCartney, Josh Duas, Carl Sutton, Aaron Davies, Amy Beecham, Pete Mullaney, our fan dad, Scott Gillespie, Dave Fernandez, and we'll see here. Might even be next. I'll just check my order. And yes, it will be next. Joe O'Connor versus Stevie Dempsey is next up for you on stream, I can tell you.
That's a cracking game.
Which is a cracking game, yeah, absolutely. And then the last 32 is shaping up, draw as it stands. Cousins White, Gilbert Chipperfield, we'll see that. Brennan Kane, great game. McAllister Hampson, Waddingham Cooney, Ryan Fleming Lambert, Story Cunningham, great to see Emma getting a run. John Rowe, Jordan Shepherds. Chris Melling is awaiting the winner of Chris Day and Dylan Leary. Ian Alley, Mark Fleming. And then the bottom of the half of the draw is just waiting to be completed.
I believe, is that the second encounter between Mr. Day and Mr. Leary? Didn't they play yesterday?
Oh, I don't know, you put me on the spot here, maybe.
I thought they were in the main table yesterday early afternoon, I believe.
Quite possibly, yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. As I say, these days all blend into one.
They do, indeed.
They do. Yeah, Emma Cunningham getting a 7-5 win over fellow Nordy Ronan McCarthy.
Yeah. Yeah, great win for Emma. She's been knocking on the door a few times in these matches. There's one last season, I think she's 4-5-0 up. And we sort of wandered around. I wasn't on the commentary and I thought, oh, my word, she's not missing a thing. And then all of a sudden the worm just turned. She missed the ball and her head sort of went down a little bit. And I can't for the life of me remember who she was playing. Obviously, top professional. And she did get beat in the end. But
A lot of stories like that with Emma over the last few years.
I'm pleased for her, but I can tell you now, Ronan McCarthy needs to go and hide away in his room because Declan Brennan will be after him.
I'm sure he already has been.
Yeah.
And I think that's the second time. I think Emma's beaten Ronan before. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's happened. Carl making his way patiently through these yellows. One that he's got to be wary of is obviously the one to the bottom right. May elect to leave it as a double. May also elect to leave an angle on his bottom yellow to maybe try and pot that red. There's options for him.
Yes, indeed. I remember the Clash of the Titans when, in the early part of the afternoon, when the pros were doing a little bit of an exhibition out then. Ronan McCarthy previously had missed a silly ball in a pairs match with Declan. And so Declan was auditioning for a new doubles partner.
Yeah,
bringing players out, people out of the crowd to pot this ball that Ronan had missed. He said, "Right, anybody pots this, you can be my pairs partner next season." The ultimate pool.
Declan. Oh, Kyle!
Wow.
Oh, he wasn't expecting that.
I don't think Rob Wharne was expecting that either.
No. Let off for the whacker, this.
Well.
A bit of an error-strewn match so far.
We've seen a few of them today. I mean, the first event and the first 2 days.
Oh, it's relentless.
Nobody's missed balls. I mean, it was just dish after dish after dish.
We were treated.
Yeah.
We really were. We were spoiled.
But they've all saved them for today.
Yeah, it feels that way.
I mean, even the great Tom Cousins was missing a few balls out there.
But it just goes to remind you, this game is hard. It's not supposed to be as easy as, the players made it look on day one. It's not. It's just silly.
Yeah, Rob would have liked better position on this 8. He's going upstairs with it. Ooh. Don't give that one a chance to roll off anywhere, will you?
No. He thumps it.
Yeah, liked it. I like that shot.
Well, I was listening to your commentary with Simon earlier, and I think you were discussing the Dave Gilbert-Tom Cousins match, and Dave rolled a long one that ended up being a wide. And
yeah, I remember it.
And you were saying, no, never for me that. Hate doing that on these tables. I'll be punching that all day.
Well, Rob Wharne going to break off, trying to continue this run. He's on.
Yeah, he's on a good little run. I think that's 3 in a row now for the whacker. He's 2-0 down.
Yeah, he's had some help along the way from his opponent.
He's not getting any help there off his own break.
No, Reds look lovely as well.
The truth, he was a bit lucky on the break. Cue ball was tracking towards that top corner pocket, didn't flush it.
Yeah, I can't see any mistakes here, but then thought that last frame, you just never know. One little lapse of concentration and it can all go wrong in an instant. If you want to hit that so thin, really, but the red he played there hit the cushion quite a way up before he played that plant. I'd rather played it a little bit straighter. I know he's trying to get the cue ball for a decent angle, but he could have sort of stunned it and left the other one over the back. Shouldn't cause him any problems though. Nice use of the side there.
Oh, he's done about as horrible as he could. He just needs to make sure, and luckily he's in a position where he doesn't have to do much with the cue ball. I think if he can try and dot this in, because he's dead straight, he's not going to leave himself much angle on the final red. Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, I might have just dribbled at me.
I quite like the way he did it because he gets that sort of, because it's so close. It's not like the one that we saw Sean Story yesterday, where it was like a 3/4 length version of that, and it's so easy to miss those.
Yeah.
Whereas he's so close to the pocket, he can, even though it's not in his eye line, it sort of is, and he can sort of make sure. Sort of didn't think he was ever going to miss that really, but just dotting that cue ball on the spot, it just made the rest of his work really, really tidy. What a break from Kyle Lattis. That's a little bit more like it. He's going to get a decent chance here, I'd imagine. Yeah. Not bad. The top right of the table's just a wee bit awkward. Just a touch. Reds are a non-starter, but the yellows are not terrible, but he just needs to... If he can find a way to land flat on the top cushion early, I think he'll do the majority of his work for him. That may be where he's targeting now.
That is a very, very nicely controlled shot.
That's gorgeous, isn't it?
Stunning. I loved it. It's a great, great shot.
Yeah, how well played is that from Kyle Cope? It could not have come out any nicer for him.
Didn't belt it, used the side and the cushion just to move the cue ball along at the correct pace and just open those balls up.
Yeah, look at this. Really love that. Just got the bite into the cue ball, didn't he?
Perfect. All nicely done again.
Yeah, and I think he was absolutely targeting that red as well, because it just shows how accurate that was. It was a really, really impressive shot, because there wasn't a huge amount of margin for error.
Said it wasn't quick fire to start with, but it certainly is now as Kyle Cope picks up the pace.
Yeah, that's a beautiful break and run from Kyle Cope. Really, really good indeed. He's overcompensated on his cue ball.
25 goes that cue ball had it going in that corner pocket, but let's see how many times it bounced.
Well, this is like a darts player, Tony. He's hitting the one, and now he hits the 5. He's just overcompensated. He's been playing with that top right corner pocket quite a bit. He needs to make the adjustment, so it's going to take him up to the top left. We do have a... So we're going to have a pause in play here for a moment, as there's an issue with the match clock. So... might be a decent opportunity to pop the kettle on.
Well, this match gone in bursts, as in Kyle went 2-0 up, then Wharne got the next 3, and now it's Kyle Cope's turn to have the momentum shift in his favour.
I believe we're ready to kick back into gear as Rob patiently waits for his fate here. Kyle Cope is back at the table. 24 minutes and 19 seconds, I can tell you, remaining on the match clock when it resumes. There we go. Plant the first shot with cue ball in hand. Issue is for Rob, he's such a big breaker that if he does go in off, he invariably tends to leave pretty nice splits for his opponent. It's not ideal, but he's got second prize. He's not glanced that red on as he would have wanted, but has he left himself a nice angle here, Tony, to try it again, or will he leave the double?
I think he'll try and move it.
He needs to control it well.
Yeah, towards hit the side of it. Ooh. Well, he's had to go for nothing because he's still on the double. But now the cue ball, just got to be a little bit careful that cue ball doesn't hit that yellow. It's on the top rail. Might have to just dig a bit here.
Ah, lovely.
That's the way.
Cue ball. Ooh.
Yeah, never looked like going in that cue ball. Well, it's Kyle Cope continuing his momentum.
So Kyle Cope breaking to put himself on the hill. His last break resulted in a finish, and a very tidy one at that. If you can repeat the trick. I mean, look at that cue ball, Tony. It's perfect. Deserves a good split. He's got a good split. If Kyle Cope holds himself together, this is 6-3. He has crunched these. And what did I tell you before about the cue ball? It's got an unbelievable ability to just end up on the bottom cushion from a front ball break.
Red's the order of the day for Kyle Cope. Taking on the plant first. Played it very well indeed. Going to get both balls in the same shot.
Yeah, a little double doink for Kyle Cope. Oh, well, that's a shocker. What have we just seen there?
Not only that, he's just left Rob Wharne straight on the two yellows at the top.
Dollies. That's crazy.
I mean, I don't think it was a kick or anything there. He missed the ball early into that corner, didn't he? That yellow along that was just away from the rail.
I just can't believe that. I did not see that coming in any way whatsoever.
No. Wow.
It just goes straight on, doesn't it?
Quite bizarre.
I mean, you'll know better than me, Tony. Is there anything? Don't look at me like that.
Why would I know?
You've been in a World Championship final, mate.
Oh, no, but nobody else turned up. I honestly don't know.
It's difficult to comprehend that sort of a miss.
The only thing you say is he'd already, in his mind, he'd already potted that, and he's probably about three balls down the road on his finish, and just took his eye off it. I mean, you know, it's just a ball you would never miss as a professional. I mean, he'll be sat there absolutely gutted because, I mean, in that finish there, I mean, it puts him on the hill.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, he's just gifted Rob Wharne a little route back into this match.
It's an enormous difference between 6-3 and 5-4. This needs queuing in. Queued in it is, very nicely. The whack stays alive. That's a 5-4.
Well, Rob Wharne goes in off the break. Handed the table immediately straight back to Kyle Cope. just when he got himself right back in this match. Screwed straight in as well. Be disappointed. So young Kyle Cope. Elected to play the Reds. That's a very, very nice shot indeed there from Kyle Cope. That red did need to be moved away from the black, and it's been done so exquisitely by the young man. Now he won't want to be making the same mistake as he did in the last frame when he had it at his mercy. Going to the middle bag next. The red ball in the centre of the table. I think you want to come a little bit further actually, because to get the cue ball, he wants to get the cue ball quite a way through here just to leave himself the straight shot, and that'll be fine. You want to just be able to pop this red and send the cue ball past the black ball without contacting it. She wants to drop onto this red at the bottom. If you can leave yourself a slight angle, all the better. This looks perfect. Tiny little bit of right hand side on this with the cue ball, just spin it through, and they want the black in the bottom right hand corner. Nicely done. And Kyle Cope rights his wrong from the previous frame. Unless he misses his black, of course. Never in doubt this time. Very, very good finish there from Kyle Cope, and he is now on the hill. This looks nice for Kyle Cope. He'll
take this.
Yes, he'll be more than happy with this layout on the table.
See, this is the example of what we talk about the break. Like, that cue ball from Kyle has been perfect. And you can honestly make a case for essentially that being the difference.
Yeah.
Because it's just quality of opportunity. Kyle's had more opportunities in this match, but he's had more opportunities because his breaking has been better. Not that he's had more luck on the break, it's been better.
The way he cues the ball, I like Kyle. He cues it very softly. He doesn't, he doesn't overhit balls, and he's got a nice little touch. I'm going to put his miss down on that a couple of frames ago to the fact that he thought he cleared up, and he just took his eye off that completely and was playing the next red after it while playing that, if you like.
Well, I'll make you a promise, Tony. If he knocks in these next 5 balls, I'll ask him about it.
Right, I'm going to hold you to that.
And we'll find out. Maybe he's got a good excuse for us.
Yeah.
If he's flat to the cushion, he's perfect. And, well, it's good as. Didn't want to be straight. He's not. He's got a little bit of room. That is lovely.
Yeah, a herd of buffalo came charging across the arena and knocked my cue as I played it. That is bang on.
He's had his cue ball on a string.
Just now making doubly sure. You can see the winning line. Now then, does he just pop this in and get on the black? Or does he? He can play his cue ball just in between red and black and just push the black towards that bottom left-hand corner. Scenic route.
Yeah,
short as well.
It is a bit short. It's still very makeable. I didn't think this went middle left, I'll be honest. Didn't sort of consider that really.
No, that's 2 of us.
But yeah, it absolutely goes. You fully expect him to make it, which he does. Heart of the pocket, and Kyle Cope is on the road in Pro Series 6. An excellent win from the young man. Really impressive performance in the end, Tony.
Indeed. The young man there producing the goods, and he will be through to the next round